Hello everyone, this is Godzilla Bros. This is our first toy review. So we're just winging it, we're trying to figure it out. But yeah, so today we're going to be looking at the Super 7 Ultimate Series Super MechaGodzilla from Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla 2 back in 1993. So here's the figure itself next to the packaging. So this is the back of the box. If you want to pause it and read this lovely description first, you can pause the video and do that. And then turn it around. He would be in this little nice display here. I put some of the accessories and stuff in there, but we'll get to that in a second. So this is him right as you get him out of the box. His articulation. He has a ball joint. I think it's a dumbbell joint on the waist. He can barely crunch, so not really an ab crunch there. Can't really look up either with it, but you can rotate it a decent bit. It is difficult, so I don't really want to try a full 360. His head is on a dumbbell joint as well. We'll get into how we change the heads and stuff in a second, but it can twist side to side. It can do a full 360. He can look barely up and barely down. Yeah, with the Super 7, they're not like SH Monster Arts level, so they're not that articulated, and they're not that they're not as detailed as a SH Monster Arts figure, so I kind of think of it as a bigger upscaled version of NECA. Although as my partner in crime here, he can tell you that yeah, the Super 7 Godzillas in general, they're not his favorite design. Can you elaborate on that?
Godzilla Broz 2 here saying, I really do enjoy the Super 7 takes of Godzilla himself, but unfortunately the design looks way off to me from like his texture between his arms to his torso. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to be how it is in the movie or that was a design flaw, but you are seeing it more recently.
Yeah, and it's also like I feel like the Super 7 Heisei Godzilla is a little more cartoony too. This one, and I want to say like the Biollante figure as well, like it was pretty good, like in design wise. And I see that Hiya Toys is making their Heisei Godzilla, and he's supposed to stand at 7 inches, so he'll stand maybe about here or there. And while it's not perfect scale, whenever or if I get him, then I'm sure he'll scale nicely with him. And if we ever do a review on the Hiya 1991 Godzilla, then we'll scale them next to each other. But we do have the NECA 1995 Burning Godzilla to scale him to. Yeah, he is quite tall, isn't he? Yeah. We can kind of show off the articulation here. The arms do move up. It is very tight. Goodness. The wrists swivel and move, and with the accessories you do get alternate hands. We'll get to that in a second. With the arms, the forearms do rotate all the way around. Like I said, whenever I got him first out of the box, he was very tight, and he still is. And I've had him for a good while. I haven't played with him a lot, which is probably why he's still really tight. But his knees can bend decently on both legs. He has a nice ankle pivot, and there's a bend at the ankle. And then probably the best part of the articulation in this figure is the spread. It's a very good spread. His tail is not articulated. And another design flaw from this is just how easily... Oh, well, now you're trying to stay on. It's just how easily this pops off. See, if I barely tap it, then it falls off. That's so that Garuda can attach there, but it is kind of annoying if you want to display him like that. You have to really press it and hope it doesn't fall. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot bigger than your 6-inch scale figures. Here's the 7-inch scale Kong. So you can tell, like, here it kind of goes in a row. So there's the 6-inch MechaGodzillas, and if you want to say the SH Monster Arts as well, because they're that same scale. And then the NECA Kong. He's not wanting to stand right. But the NECA Kong, which is 7 inches, and then you have the Super 7 line, which is 8 inches tall. So there's the little skullcrawler looking creature from the Kong set. You know, he's very tiny compared to MechaGodzilla. So now that we are done with size comparisons and articulation, let's get into the accessories. The nitty-gritties, as my friend is saying, my brother. Anyway, here is Garuda. It's kind of a figure on its own. I know it's a ship, but it's a really neat ship too. It's a nice design of it. I've seen on some reviewers releases, they have a problem with the G-force being bold on one side and then very thin on the other, but mine seems to be a very consistent font size and boldness. So I think I got the better end of the stick. But there is Garuda. Let me go ahead and get him prepared to change. So with this, you also get alternate hands, which, oh, I lost one, which they are more cupping hands, basically. So you have these very pointed fingers, usually for the harpoons, which are right here. They're usually the hands that you'll use whenever the harpoons are put in. You gotta be very precise with it. Okay, I got that one. And then you get this one. Perfect. Gotta bend that. Get that set. And there he is with his harpoons. They are metal. They're not bendy wire. So if you wanted them to be more articulate, then that is a flaw there, and that cannot happen, sadly. So here is Garuda. And we have one more step in the transformation process for him. It's his little stomach cannon. So we will put that right there. And it is not the snuggest fit, but you make it work. So there he is as Super MechaGodzilla instead of just being regular MechaGodzilla. He looks pretty nice. I do like how Super 7 did him. Again, not as detailed as an SH Monster Arts, and not as articulate either. But for what the figure is, and for what I got him for, he's pretty nice. He is very expensive now because they were part of a line that would release a good amount of figures for a bit, and then they would stop. So, yeah, there is the NECA 2019 Flaming Godzilla. Yeah, I like it. I got him for about $84, and online now he's about $140. It's a pretty ridiculous price, but compared to how SH Monster Art's design of him is worth now, it's not nearly as bad. However, they are re-releasing him along with Fire Rodan. Bandai is for SH Monster Arts. So I doubt it's going to be good enough price to pay for what it's worth, but you know, it is what it is. So there's a few of his alternate heads. We'll get a closer look at those. And you also get these flaming pieces, which will go on the back for his flying mode. So here's the head for his flying mode. All you have to do is pop the head off. It is a very tricky process, and it is very it is a very tricky process. You have to be careful of the ball joint, but as long as you snap it in, and you will hear a snap majority of the time. That one did not snap, but it is in. Good. All right. So you can do two versions of his flying mode. You can do the Super MechaGodzilla one, where he has Garuda, and all you do is just straighten the arms out. You straighten the legs, and you do that. Basically, there is no stand. So if you wanted your MechaGodzilla to have a stand for his flying mode, sadly there is not one that comes with it. So that is a bummer, because why give us the accessories for it if you're not going to provide a stand for us to display it that way? But there he is. You can put the flames on by his legs. There are flame ports under Garuda, which are for these smaller ones, but it is sadly not accessible with Garuda on. But when you take Garuda off, you can definitely where did that go? Oh well, I'll find it in a second. You can definitely yeah, you definitely display it however you want. Like, you can take it off, and then you can put the smaller ones on, but it is a design flaw against it, but oh well. So you do get one more head. It is the open mouth head, and if we compare these two, the open and the closed mouth, you will see there is one difference, and I think this the difference stays the same when it comes to this head and the flying head. But if you can look closely, that little horn on his head, it's kind of dulled a bit here, and here it's more pointed, and like on the flying head, it's dulled as well. So that is the only difference I see, but the rest of the heads are the same. Basically, the design, one is open, one is closed, and then one is flying. So yep, that is basically it. What do we think of the figure? Definitely would not pay 100 or more for it. That is way too overpriced for a figure like this, because I see the new Super 7s as almost like like the way I saw the NECA line. It's them trying to kind of pull off a cheaper version of SH Monster Arts, even though this is definitely close to SH Monster Arts in price without even being nearly as detailed. But if you wanted to see the open mouth head on real quick, there it is. But yeah, that is MechaGodzilla, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and would I recommend picking up this figure now? Probably not, unless you can get a good deal. But you know, it is what it is, and I'm happy with it just because I got him for a good profit. But again, your preference is your preference. So thank you so much. Chase, do you have anything you want to say? Not really. Yeah. Well, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.